Water symbolizes flow, renewal, and circulation, just like money. When you look at a river, you see a constant current that does not stop. It bends, it curves, it adapts, yet it continues its journey without fail. This is the very pattern of divine supply. Money, like water, is not meant to be stagnant. It is designed to move, to circulate, to refresh, and to bless all those it touches. When we understand this simple but profound truth, we open ourselves to the natural rhythm of prosperity. Imagine water held tightly in the palm of your hand. The tighter you grip, the faster it escapes. So it is with money. When fear or insecurity causes one to hold on too tightly, to hoard, or to resist circulation, supply slips away. On the other hand, when water is placed in a vessel with openness, it remains, ready to refresh and nourish. Likewise, when money is handled with wisdom, generosity, and trust in divine supply, it circulates back, often multiplied. The key is not to clutch but to channel. Water teaches us lessons that cannot be ignored. It cleanses, it restores, it gives life. When you drink, your thirst is quenched. When you wash, impurities are removed. When you gaze upon the ocean, your soul remembers the vastness of creation. This same power resides in the flow of money. Rightly used, it nourishes lives, clears away burdens, and creates space for new opportunities. Wrongly used, or resisted through fear, it leads to stagnation, lack, and inner dryness. Think of renewal. When rain falls on the earth, parched soil becomes fertile again. Seeds hidden in the ground burst forth with life because water touched them. In the same way, divine wealth rains upon the soul that is ready to receive. Perhaps you have felt dry seasons, times when bills piled up, opportunities seemed scarce, and the heart grew weary. But remember this: just as rain never ceases forever, financial dryness cannot last when the heart turns upward in faith. Water always finds its way back to the earth, and supply always finds its way back to the one who trusts in its circulation. Circulation is another lesson water teaches us. Watch the ocean waves, they never stop. The tide goes out, but it always returns. This is the law of giving and receiving. When you release with love, whether it be money, kindness, or service, it flows back to you in due time. To refuse to circulate is to interrupt the tide. Some say, "I cannot give because I have so little," but consider the ocean. One wave cannot say, "I refuse to return." The ocean as a whole moves in harmony, and that is why it remains endless. Your small act of giving becomes part of the infinite ocean of circulation, ensuring your return. Now, water also symbolizes clarity. A stagnant pond becomes murky, clouded, and even dangerous, but a flowing stream sparkles with freshness and purity. So it is with the mind concerning money. Negative thoughts of lack, fear, or resentment are like stagnant pools. They cloud vision and invite decay. Positive thoughts of faith, gratitude, and expectancy are like clear rivers drawing in fresh ideas, opportunities, and solutions. If you want clarity in finances, you must let the mental water flow. Wash the mind daily with affirmations of abundance. Money flows to me like a clear river. Prosperity is my divine birthright. I am renewed each day in supply. Water also bends. It is flexible, soft, and gentle, yet it wears down the hardest stone. Prosperity, too, is gentle but persistent. If you are rigid in your beliefs, insisting that money can only come from one source, one job, or one business, you are building walls against the flow. Water shows us that divine supply has endless channels. A river may be blocked by a boulder, but it flows around it, carves a new path, or eventually dissolves the obstacle. Money can arrive in unexpected ways when we release our grip on how it must come. A check in the mail, a gift from a friend, an opportunity that seemed hidden. These are the bends of the financial river. Trust its adaptability. Furthermore, water reminds us of reflection. Look into a still pond, and you see your face. Look into the financial state of your life, and you see the reflection of your inner beliefs. If the reflection is troubling, do not curse the water, instead shift what you project. As you affirm abundance, gratitude, and circulation, the outer reflection changes to match the inner truth. This is the secret of renewal. Outer supply is the mirror of inner flow. Do you see how intimately water and wealth are connected? Both are carriers of life, both are meant to move, both respond to intention. Just as polluted water harms, polluted thoughts about money block the current. Just as clean water revives, clean faith-filled thoughts open doors of prosperity. To use water as a spiritual tool for prosperity, one can begin with the simplest act: drinking. Hold a glass of water in your hands, and before drinking, speak words of life over it. This water carries abundance into every part of my being. As I drink, I am filled with renewal, clarity, and prosperity. The words charge the water with the vibration of truth. When you drink, you align body and spirit with that declaration. Another way is bathing. As you bathe, imagine every limitation, fear, and block dissolving into the water, leaving you clean in spirit and mind. Speak aloud: I am renewed. Every shadow of lack is washed away. I am ready for the flow of abundance. When the water drains away, envision your financial blocks being carried out with it. Even flowing water outdoors can be a teacher. Sit by a river or fountain, or even listen to recordings of flowing streams, and let it remind you of circulation. Whisper, as this water flows without ceasing, so does my supply. As this stream finds its path, so does wealth find its way to me. Meditate on this until peace settles in your heart. Water has no resistance. It does not argue with the rock, it flows around it. It does not complain of the mountain. It carves through it over time. When you learn from water, you stop resisting with fear and start trusting the current of divine supply. Life becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. The secret is release, trust, and alignment. Think of the ocean once more. It is vast, unmeasured, and unfathomable. Can anyone ever drain it? No. And yet, it is made up of drops. Likewise, divine wealth is infinite, and each act of faith, each affirmation, each generous deed is a drop that connects you to the ocean. Never despise the small beginnings. Every drop is part of the greater whole. Beloved, allow the image of water to guide you. When you feel dry, remember the rain is coming. When you feel blocked, remember water finds a way. When you feel fearful, remember water cannot be held by fear but only by openness. When you feel poor, remember water flows to every valley and does not discriminate. Wealth, too, will flow where openness, faith, and readiness exist. Speak these truths. Money flows to me like water. Wealth renews me like rain. Circulation never ceases in my life. Every block is washed away. Let them become like rivers in your heart. Drink them in. Wash in them, meditate upon them, and watch how the outer life begins to reflect the inner renewal. The divine source is always flowing. The river is already moving. Step into it with faith, and you will never thirst again for supply. Money will flow as naturally as water, bringing refreshment, freedom, and blessing, not only to you, but to all who drink from your overflow. Money is meant to move like water, blessing all it touches. This truth has been hidden in plain sight for ages, and yet so many live in fear, clinging, grasping, and holding on to what they have as though it could vanish at any moment. But when we look at water, we see the divine law in action. Water flows freely, it nourishes, cleanses, and refreshes. It never hoards itself. It never resists movement. It simply follows its path, blessing everything along the way. And money, when understood spiritually, works in the very same way. The mistake people make is believing money is a hard, fixed thing that must be chased, clutched, or guarded. But money, like water, is energy in circulation. It has one great purpose: to move, to flow, and to bliss. When it flows, it brings life, just as a river brings fertility to the land it touches. But when it stagnates, it becomes murky and lifeless. Stagnant water cannot refresh, and stagnant money cannot prosper. Think of a pond that has no outlet. Over time, without movement, it becomes heavy, thick, and stale. The fish die, the plants decay, and the water loses its vitality. Now compare it to a stream, clear and lively, always moving forward, feeding the fields, quenching thirst, sustaining life. This is how divine supply is meant to operate in your life. It must be allowed to flow. When you hold money tightly in fear, it is like trying to stop a river with your hands. It slips through, and you remain anxious. But when you trust in the flow and allow money to move through you, giving, receiving, circulating, you become like a river, always fresh, always renewed, always filled. Many people pray for money, but then close their hands around the little they have, afraid to let it circulate. They block the very channel that spirit is trying to use. Imagine if the ocean refused to give water to the clouds, afraid it would never be filled again. There would be no rain, no rivers, no life. Yet the ocean gives freely, trusting in the eternal cycle of return. The rains always come back. The rivers always find their way home. And so it is with money. What you release in faith returns multiplied, because you are part of a divine circulation that cannot fail. Money is not evil, nor is it holy. It is simply a servant, a symbol of circulation. The spirit with which you use it determines whether it becomes a blessing or a burden. When you release it with fear, you weaken yourself. But when you release it with love, with gratitude, with faith, you enter into the law of circulation that guarantees replenishment. Every bill you pay, every gift you give, every offering you release is like water poured into the soil. It does not disappear. It nourishes, it circulates, and it comes back in due season in new and greater forms. There are those who hoard wealth, stacking it high like a dammed reservoir. Outwardly, it may appear impressive, but inwardly, it breeds fear, greed, and suspicion. A hoarder cannot rest, for he believes he must guard his pile at all costs. But eventually that dam bursts, and what was held in fear is lost. Yet the one who lets money flow, who uses it for good, who trusts the divine supply, this person never lacks, for the river of provision never ceases. You are not the source of money, you are a channel. Money does not originate from you, it flows through you. Your work, your business, your ideas, these are only the conduits. The true source is infinite, and just as the ocean never runs dry, the source of supply is never exhausted. When you realize this, you stop clinging. You stop panicking when money seems low. You remember money is like water. It flows out, and it flows back in. Your task is simply to keep the channel open. How do you keep the channel open? First, by removing fear. Fear is the stone that blocks the river. When fear rules, you tighten your grip and circulation stops. Instead, declare in faith, I trust the divine flow. Money is circulating to me and through me. I release in love, and I receive in abundance. Say these words with conviction, and you will feel the dam begin to dissolve. Second, you must give. Giving is like digging new channels for the river. When you give with joy, you open fresh streams for supply to return. If you close your fist, not only can nothing leave, but nothing can enter. But when you open your hand, money moves freely, and the universe mirrors that openness back to you. Never give with resentment or fear, but with joy, gratitude, and expectation. For every seed you plant returns as a harvest. Third, bless what you receive. Too often people complain about money. It's not enough. It goes too quickly. It never stays. But to curse your money is to poison the stream. Instead, bless it. Hold it in your hand and say, you are divine substance in circulation. You bless me, and you bless all you touch. Multiply as you go and return in greater measure. This transforms money into a sacred servant rather than a cruel master. Friends, remember this always: lack is not real. It is only the shadow of blocked circulation. Just as a dry riverbed may look barren, but the spring beneath the earth still flows, so your life may appear dry in one season, but the source of supply is still alive. The moment you remove fear, resentment, or disbelief, the waters rise again and the river flows strong. Water teaches us trust. It flows without questioning where it will end. It moves past rocks, bends around obstacles, and finds its way to the sea. So too must we trust the flow of provision. Do not fear the rocks on your path. Divine supply knows how to move around them. Do not fear the drought, for the spring is eternal. Let your faith be as steady as the ocean tides, for just as the moon pulls the waters, so Spirit pulls abundance into your life. Take a simple glass of water and make it a tool of faith. Hold it, speak truth over it. I am divinely provided for. Money circulates to me with ease. Every bill is paid, every need is met, every desire is fulfilled. Drink it, not as ordinary water, but as the living reminder that circulation is alive within you. Each sip becomes a declaration supply is flowing and nothing can stop it. When you bathe, imagine every drop washing away financial fear. Say, every block is dissolved. I am cleansed of lack. I am renewed in abundance. Feel the truth as real as the water on your skin. When you see a river, a fountain, or even hear the sound of rain, declare, as this water flows, so does my money flow. As this rain nourishes the earth, so does wealth nourish my life. These acts turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, the natural into the supernatural. Money is not an enemy to be chased nor a master to be feared. It is a servant, a current, a flow. Treat it as water, let it move, let it circulate, let it bless. When you receive, give thanks. When you release, trust. When you give, rejoice. When you wait, be at peace. This is the rhythm of the river, and when you join its flow, lack cannot remain. Think of the farmer who understands water. He knows the rains may come and go, but the rivers always return. He does not panic in a dry week, for he trusts in the seasons. He plants in faith, waters in patience, and reaps in abundance. So too must we live, giving blessing, circulating, trusting, knowing the source never fails. Every time you use water, whether to drink, bathe, cook, or clean, let it remind you money is meant to move like water, blessing all it touches. Let it remind you to release fear, to circulate freely, and to trust in the divine supply that never runs dry. For you are not a reservoir, you are a channel. And as long as you keep that channel open, the river of abundance will flow endlessly through your life. So, beloved, step into the stream. Let money move like water through you, blessing your home, your family, your work, your community, and beyond. Let it flow, and as it flows, give thanks. For just as surely as the rivers reach the sea, divine wealth will always reach you. Fear, doubt, and resentment act as invisible dams that block prosperity. They are not tangible walls that we can see with our eyes, but their effects are as real as concrete barriers built across a flowing river. When the natural current of abundance tries to reach us, it cannot move freely if fear has been allowed to pile up like stones, if doubt has been allowed to cloud our vision, and if resentment has been left to harden the heart. These invisible dams do not exist in the world around us, they exist within us. They are created in the mind, nurtured by repeated thought, and sustained by emotions that are never released. And as long as they stand, they hold back the very good that was meant to flow easily into our lives. Fear is one of the most subtle and destructive of these barriers. It whispers lies of insufficiency. There isn't enough for you. What if you lose what you have? What if the supply runs out? Fear is the belief in separation from divine provision, the assumption that the source of supply is uncertain or unstable. But nothing could be further from the truth. Supply is eternal, rooted in a source that never runs dry. To let fear dominate the mind is to place a dam across the river of provision. Imagine a wide, rushing stream of water that has the power to nourish the land, feed the crops, and bring life to every creature around it. Now imagine a fearful hand lowering a heavy wooden gate across that stream. Suddenly, the water slows. Behind the gate it begins to pool and stagnate. Downstream, the land begins to dry up. This is what fear does in the spiritual life. It prevents the flow of prosperity, not because prosperity has ceased, but because the channel is blocked. Doubt is another form of obstruction. While fear is loud and filled with anxiety, doubt often seems quiet, even rational. It whispers, maybe it won't work for you. Perhaps others are meant to prosper, but your case is different. What if you are excluded from the promise of abundance? Doubt presents itself as careful thinking, but in truth, it is unbelief wearing the mask of wisdom. When doubt sits in the mind, it sends a mixed signal to the universe. One moment, a person declares, I believe supply will come, and the next, they cancel that statement by adding, but what if it doesn't? The waters of provision are confused by this contradictory message. It is like opening the gate of the dam just a little, letting water trickle through and then slamming it shut again. The stream never gains momentum. The soil remains parched. The promise of a harvest is delayed, not because it was denied, but because the channel was not kept open long enough for the flow to do its work. Resentment may be the heaviest of all these invisible dams. It is the hardening of the heart against others and against life itself. Resentment says, why should they have so much while I struggle? Why was I treated unfairly? Why does life bless some and withhold from me? Such thoughts, though they may seem justified, are poison to prosperity. For resentment binds the heart to lack. It builds walls of bitterness that even blessings cannot penetrate. The river of abundance may be rushing with great force, but resentment throws boulders into its path, diverting the water away from us. Instead of flowing freely, the water pools in frustration and erodes the banks of peace and joy. Resentment does not punish others as much as it punishes the one who holds it. By carrying grudges and grievances, we keep ourselves tied to the very conditions we long to escape. To remove these dams, we must first acknowledge that they exist within. Too often, people believe their financial difficulties are caused by outer conditions, the economy, the government, their employer, or circumstances beyond their control. While outer conditions may present challenges, they are not the true cause of persistent lack. The real obstructions are the inner attitudes of fear, doubt, and resentment. When these are dissolved, abundance has a way of reaching us regardless of outer appearances. Just as a river finds new courses when one path is blocked, so too does divine provision find channels when the mind and heart are open. The way to dissolve fear is to remember the truth of divine supply. Fear thrives on forgetfulness of the fact that we are connected to an infinite source. When fear arises, it is a signal that we have momentarily lost sight of that truth. The remedy is to affirm with confidence, I am provided for. My needs are met before I even ask. The river of supply is endless and it flows toward me now. Each time such a truth is spoken and believed, the wooden gate of fear is lifted a little higher and the water of abundance rushes forward. Fear cannot stand against a mind firmly anchored in the assurance of divine provision. To remove doubt, one must practice unwavering faith. Doubt is weakened by consistency. Just as a river cuts through rock by flowing steadily in the same direction, so too does faith cut through doubt by holding fast to a single truth without wavering. Instead of vacillating between belief and unbelief, the soul must decide, I will stand in the knowing that my good is assured. I will not cancel my declaration with hesitation. Each time the mind is tempted to entertain, what if not? It must immediately replace it with, what if yes, and even greater than I imagine. In this way, doubt is gradually eroded until the flow of prosperity is unobstructed. Resentment requires forgiveness, and forgiveness is the greatest act of releasing. To forgive is not to excuse wrongs or to deny injustices, but to refuse to let bitterness poison the soul. Forgiveness says, I release you to your own path, and I free myself to receive my own blessings. When resentment is held, it is like clenching the fist tightly around stones. The hand is too full to receive the gold that is being offered. But when forgiveness opens the hand, the stones fall away, and the treasures of life can be placed within it. Forgiveness dismantles the heaviest dams, allowing the river of good to rush forth in torrents of blessing. One may ask, how do I know if fear, doubt, or resentment are blocking me? The answer lies in the state of peace within. If there is constant anxiety over money, fear has taken root. If there is hesitation to believe in prosperity, doubt is present. If there is bitterness toward others' success or anger over past events, resentment is at work. The heart is the measuring place. When the heart is light, trustful, and free, prosperity flows naturally. When the heart is heavy, suspicious, and bitter, the flow is hindered. The good news is that these dams, though invisible, are not permanent. They can be removed with intention, affirmation, and spiritual practice. Fear dissolves in the presence of faith. Doubt dissolves in the presence of truth spoken repeatedly. Resentment dissolves in the presence of love and forgiveness. Each time we choose faith over fear, trust over doubt, and release over resentment, we weaken the barriers and strengthen the flow. Consider the river again. Even when a dam is built across it, The water never stops being water. It never loses its essence or its power. It continues to press against the barrier, seeking a way through. Likewise, abundance never ceases. Even when blocked, it continues to exist in fullness, waiting for the opportunity to reach us. The work of dissolving fear, doubt, and resentment is not about creating abundance. It is about allowing what already exists to reach us. As this truth is practiced, life begins to change in surprising ways. Opportunities appear where before there were none. Money arrives from unexpected sources. Ideas for increase spring up like fresh springs of water in a desert. Relationships heal, bringing new channels of blessing. What seemed impossible becomes possible because the flow is no longer obstructed. Beloved soul, remember always that fear, doubt, and resentment are illusions of separation. They have no true power except the power we give them by entertaining them. The moment we withdraw our consent, their walls begin to crumble. Stand firm in faith, speak truth into your life, forgive freely, and you will find that the dams which once held back your prosperity are gone. The river will roar again, stronger and clearer than ever before, and it will carry into your life all that you have been waiting for. Your prosperity is not far away, it is not hidden or denied, it is waiting just behind the walls of fear, doubt, and resentment. Remove those walls and the floodgates of abundance will open. The water will rush forth unstoppable, washing away every trace of lack, leaving in its place a fertile field ready for harvest. Trust the river, release the barriers, and let your life be carried in the flow of divine supply. Water is one of the most powerful yet overlooked forces in our daily lives. It surrounds us, sustains us, and makes up the very fabric of our being. More than 70% of the human body is composed of water, and the same is true for the surface of the earth. We are literally vessels of water walking upon a world of water. And yet few realize the extraordinary truth hidden in this, that water not only responds to physical touch, but also to spiritual influence. It records vibration, it absorbs energy, and it carries the impressions of the words spoken over it. If water responds to words, then we hold in our hands a sacred tool for transformation. Every phrase, every declaration, every affirmation spoken into water is etched into its structure. When you drink that water, you are drinking those words, carrying them into the deepest parts of your body, allowing them to circulate through your bloodstream, into your cells, into your very consciousness. This is not imagination, it is spiritual law. The invisible shapes the visible. Thought precedes matter. Vibration becomes manifestation. Consider the power of words. Words have created wars and signed peace. Words have healed hearts and broken them. Words have uplifted nations and enslaved them. From the beginning, it was the spoken word that shaped the universe. When light was called forth, it was summoned by a word. And now, this same principle operates in your life, on a smaller but no less miraculous scale. Every word you speak is charged with energy. Every sentence is like a seed planted into the fertile soil of reality. Now imagine combining that creative power of words with the receptive nature of water. Water, more than any other element, is impressionable. It takes the shape of whatever container holds it. Pour it into a glass, it becomes the glass. Pour it into a bowl, it becomes the bowl. Freeze it into snow, it becomes crystals. Heat it into steam, it becomes vapor. It adapts, it changes, it remembers. Just as it responds physically to conditions, it also responds spiritually to vibration. When you hold a glass of water and declare words of abundance over it, you are not performing a meaningless ritual. You are charging that water with spiritual energy. You are embedding within it the frequency of your intention. When you speak words such as, I am provided for, money flows to me with ease, my path is clear, my supply is unlimited, those phrases enter the water as living vibrations. When you drink, you are no longer simply consuming liquid, you are consuming truth. That truth flows into your bloodstream, moves through your organs, enters your cells, and reinforces the consciousness of prosperity. The body understands vibration more deeply than words. Your subconscious mind does not operate on reason. It operates on frequency. It believes what is repeated, what is impressed, what is charged with emotion. Water becomes the carrier of this impression. By speaking blessings over water and drinking it, you bypass doubt, fear, and hesitation. You are writing prosperity into the very molecules of your being. Let us imagine an example. A person may be struggling with financial lack. They see bills piling up, they feel fear rising, they sense scarcity pressing against their mind. In such a moment, the natural instinct is to panic, to speak words of worry, to repeat phrases like, I never have enough. I don't know how I'll pay this. Money is hard to get. But every one of those sentences is an affirmation in itself. Every complaint is a prayer of lack. Every fearful word charges their environment with scarcity, reinforcing the very condition they are trying to escape. Now imagine the same person taking a glass of water, holding it in both hands, and speaking into it, I release all fear. I am divinely provided for. Abundance flows to me in surprising ways. I am a magnet for prosperity. Money flows like water into my life. With each declaration, the vibration enters the water. the act itself creates a pause, a moment of faith, a break in the chain of worry. By drinking that water, they take in those new affirmations, not only into their mind but into their body. The subconscious accepts this as truth, and reality begins to shift. Opportunities arise, unexpected provision appears. The flow of money, like water, finds its channel. This is not superstition, it is alignment. The universe operates on circulation and resonance. Water is a medium that teaches us this truth. Just as polluted water carries disease, polluted words carry lack. Just as pure water refreshes and heals, pure affirmations renew and prosper. You must choose which stream you drink from, fear or faith, scarcity or abundance, doubt or trust. Another practice is to use water for cleansing not just the body, but also the mind of financial blocks. When you bathe or shower, turn the act into a declaration. As water runs over you, say, "Every block to my wealth is dissolved. Every shadow of lack is washed away. I am cleansed and renewed in divine abundance." Feel the water carrying away not just dirt, but also worry, fear, guilt, resentment, all the invisible barriers that keep prosperity from flowing. Just as you emerge from the shower refreshed, so too does your spirit emerge renewed, open, ready to receive. Flowing water, whether a river, fountain, or even a simple stream, also teaches us about prosperity. When you sit near water, meditate on its movement. It does not resist obstacles. A rock may stand in the way, but the water flows around it. A dam may rise, but the water builds pressure until it breaks through or overflows. So too does your supply. Divine circulation cannot be stopped. The only thing that can slow it in your life is resistance, fear, doubt, resentment. Release them, and the current will find you. Every time you see water, let it remind you of money. Both are meant to move, to circulate, to bless. If you hoard water in a stagnant pool, it grows impure. If you release it to flow, it stays fresh and abundant. If you cling to money in fear, it stagnates. If you allow it to circulate, spending with faith, giving with generosity, receiving with gratitude, it multiplies and refreshes. Money, like water, always seeks channels. Become the channel. Some may ask, how can water really influence money? The answer is simple. It is not the water itself, but the consciousness it carries. Water is the vessel, the medium. Your words are the seed. Your faith is the energy. Together, they create a bridge between the invisible and the visible. By engaging your senses, you make your intention tangible. You are no longer simply thinking about prosperity. You are tasting it, drinking it, bathing in it, hearing it flow. It becomes real to your subconscious, and therefore it becomes real in your world. Begin with small steps. Each morning, pour a glass of water. Speak prosperity over it. Say, "This water carries the vibration of wealth. As I drink it, I align with abundance. Every cell in my body is tuned to prosperity." Drink slowly, with awareness. Feel it entering you. Know that you are charging your day with supply. At night, as you wash your face or bathe, declare, "I release every worry about money. I am cleansed of fear. Prosperity flows freely to me." Let the water carry those words into your soul as you rest. Over time, you will notice changes. Your mindset will shift. Fear will loosen its grip. Ideas will flow. Unexpected blessings will appear. You will find yourself guided to opportunities, people, and resources that align with prosperity. This is not magic, it is law. What you impress upon the mind, the body, and the spirit must express in your outer world. Water is not only physical, it is spiritual. It is a mirror of the flow of divine supply. By speaking words of truth over water, you align with the infinite circulation of abundance. You program your being with prosperity. You dissolve blocks. You release fear. You step into flow. Beloved, never underestimate the power of your words. They are not idle. They are not wasted. They are currents, streams, rivers flowing into the ocean of your life. Combine them with the receptive nature of water, and you create a practice both simple and profound. Speak life, speak abundance, speak faith, and let the water carry it into your reality. Every sip can be a declaration. Every bath can be a cleansing. Every stream can be a reminder. Words spoken over water imprint vibrations that influence your reality. And when those words are filled with faith, gratitude, and prosperity, your life cannot help but reflect abundance. The current is already flowing. Step into it. Drink of it. Let it wash over you. And watch how swiftly every block dissolves and every blessing arrives. Beloved friend, there is a mystery hidden in the simplest of things. We look at water and think of it only as a necessity for the body. Yet water is far more than that. It is life itself. It flows through rivers, streams, oceans, and through your very veins. It carries vitality, energy, and renewal. What many do not realize is that water has the capacity to carry intention. It has the power to hold thought, to reflect words, and to mirror faith. And when you learn to speak prosperity into water, when you learn to charge it with affirmations of abundance, that water becomes a living stream of supply flowing through your being. You see, water is not inert, it is a mirror. It listens, it responds. It is receptive to the language of spirit. Just as the earth drinks rain and produces fruit, so too does water drink your words and bring forth manifestation. If you take a glass of water, hold it in your hand, and speak truth over it, You have done something extraordinary. You have infused matter with spirit. You have taken the invisible power of faith and clothed it in the tangible form of water. And when you drink it, you are not only quenching thirst, you are receiving the word of abundance into the deepest part of yourself. Think for a moment of the many affirmations you may carry in your heart. Words like, I am divinely provided for. Money flows to me in perfect ways. I am always supplied. When such affirmations are repeated in thought, they begin to shift the atmosphere of your mind. But when they are spoken into water, and then that water is taken into the body, you multiply the effect. You are no longer just thinking prosperity, you are drinking prosperity. You are no longer just declaring abundance, you are absorbing abundance into every cell. Imagine beginning your day with this ritual. You pour a simple glass of clear, pure water. You hold it reverently, as though it were a holy object, because indeed it is. You look into its stillness and you say with conviction, this water carries life. It carries wealth. It carries divine supply. As I drink, every financial block is washed away. My path is open. Money flows to me with ease and joy. Then you drink. Each sip becomes an act of faith. Each swallow is a declaration that the word has become flesh within you. Beloved, this is not superstition. It is alignment with universal law. Spirit always takes the form of the vessel that receives it. Water is the vessel, your words are the key. When the two unite, you have formed a channel for abundance to enter. This is why drinking water charged with affirmations allows prosperity to enter your being. It bypasses resistance, it dissolves subconscious blocks, and it plants wealth deep in the soil of your soul. Consider how water behaves in nature. It moves freely without effort. If a rock is placed in its way, it flows around it. If it meets resistance, it does not fight, it adapts, it finds another path. So too is prosperity when aligned with spirit. Money, like water, is never destroyed, it only changes form. It flows from one channel to another, seeking outlets. When you charge water with affirmations of abundance and drink it, you invite this divine circulation into your life. You remind your subconscious that wealth is like water. It is always moving, always available, and always seeking to bless. Think also of how water cleanses. When you wash with water, dirt and impurities are removed. When you drink water, toxins are flushed out. In the same way, when you drink water filled with affirmations, invisible toxins of fear, doubt, and worry are dissolved. Every sip becomes a purification of the mind. It is a silent washing away of the old patterns that kept wealth at bay. And in their place comes clarity, openness, and readiness to receive. Many people live thirsty, not for water of the body, but for the living water of supply. They struggle, they worry, they chase money as though it were scarce. But money is not scarce. It is abundant, just like water. The problem is not with supply but with blocked channels. And what blocks the channel? Thoughts of fear, scarcity, unworthiness, and resentment. But you have been given a tool so simple, so gentle, and so accessible, the very water you drink each day. Imagine the difference between drinking unconsciously and drinking intentionally. The one simply satisfies physical thirst. The other satisfies spiritual need. If each glass of water you drink today were charged with truth, imagine how many times prosperity would enter your being. Imagine how saturated your spirit would become with wealth consciousness. Imagine how quickly the outer circumstances of your life would begin to mirror the inner flow of abundance. Beloved, every time you take water into your body, you are renewing life. Why not also renew your prosperity at the same time? Why not let every sip be an act of prayer? Why not let every swallow be a seed of wealth planted deep within you? You do not need to beg for supply. You only need to align with the law of supply. You do not need to force money to appear. You only need to let it flow as naturally as water flows. When you drink water charged with affirmations, you are saying to the universe, I am ready. I am open. I receive. This is the posture of abundance, not grasping, not fearing, but calmly allowing. And as you continue this practice, something miraculous happens. The subconscious begins to believe what it hears and receives. It begins to expect prosperity. It begins to look for opportunity instead of obstacles. It begins to recognize wealth as natural, not exceptional. The law of life is circulation. What you send out returns. If you send fear into water, fear will circulate in you. If you send blessing into water, blessing will circulate in you. So speak blessing, speak truth, speak prosperity. Let your words dress the water with abundance before it touches your lips, then let the blessing return multiplied. There are those who will laugh and say, how can water bring wealth? How can words change money? But they forget that everything is energy, and energy is shaped by thought. They forget that even science has shown water responds to sound and vibration. They forget that what the mind believes, the body receives, and what the body receives, the life reflects. You are not trying to change the water, you are changing yourself. The water is simply the servant, the carrier, the messenger of your intention. Beloved, let us go deeper still. The ancient wisdom has always spoken of water as spirit. Holy texts speak of rivers of living water, of wells that never run dry, of cleansing streams. These were not mere metaphors. They were reminders that spirit flows, that abundance flows, that renewal flows. When you speak prosperity into water and drink it, you are uniting physical and spiritual truth. You are embodying the promise that you shall never thirst, because your supply is eternal. So I invite you to take up this practice with reverence. Do not rush it. Do not treat it lightly. Each glass of water you drink can become an altar, a ceremony, a point of contact with divine wealth. Let the ritual be simple but filled with faith. Hold the water in your hand. Speak words of life, of wealth, of abundance. Feel gratitude rise in your heart. Then drink slowly, as though every drop were liquid prosperity entering your being. Give thanks as though the wealth were already manifest. And watch what happens. Watch as fear begins to dissolve. Watch as opportunities begin to open. Watch as your relationship with money shifts from anxiety to ease. Watch as you become less resistant, more trusting, more flowing. This is not magic, it is alignment, it is remembrance. It is the law of spirit manifesting through water. In time, you will no longer question whether it works. You will know by experience. The evidence will not only be inner peace but outer demonstration. Money will arrive in unexpected ways, debts will dissolve, creative ideas will come. Right opportunities will present themselves. People will appear to bless you. Circumstances will align. And you will know that it began with something as simple, as humble, as a glass of water charged with affirmation. Beloved, never underestimate the power of the small, the ordinary, the everyday. Great changes often come through simple acts performed with great faith. Water is all around you in abundance. It costs nothing. It is available to all, and it waits to carry your words of truth into manifestation. The only question is, will you charge it with fear or will you charge it with faith? Today, choose faith. Choose prosperity. Choose to let every drop of water you drink remind you of the infinite supply that flows to you and through you. Choose to drink wealth into your being until your whole life overflows like a wellspring that never runs dry. For you are not a reservoir meant to hoard wealth. You are a channel meant to circulate it, and the more freely it flows, the more freely it returns. Drinking water charged with affirmations is not just a practice, it is a symbol, a reminder, a training of your spirit to live in flow. And when you live in flow, there can be no lack, only abundance without end. So lift your glass with faith, speak life into it, drink deeply, and let prosperity enter your being, tomorrow and always. Beloved friends, there is a simple yet profound truth that often escapes our notice. Water is not only a source of life for the body, but also a source of life for the spirit, a mirror of divine flow, and a carrier of abundance. Every drop has the capacity to carry thought, vibration, and intention. When we engage with water consciously, with a heart aligned to the principles of prosperity and divine law, it becomes more than an element. It becomes a sacred tool for cleansing, for transformation, and for opening the doors to financial abundance. Many people take baths or showers each day purely out of habit, without realizing that this simple act can be elevated into a ritual of spiritual and financial renewal. When water flows over your body, it has the potential to wash away the residues of fear, worry, doubt, and limitation that accumulate over time. These are not merely mental blocks, they are energetic patterns that manifest as obstacles to the flow of money and prosperity. When these patterns are allowed to persist, no amount of effort, skill, or planning will create lasting abundance. The river of your finances, like the river of water in nature, will remain dammed until the stones of resistance are removed. Consider for a moment how water works in nature. A stream will find its way around rocks and obstacles, it will erode barriers over time, and it will continue to move forward until it reaches its destination. Water is persistent, patient, and adaptive. In this way, water teaches us a lesson about the flow of divine supply. Your finances are meant to flow freely. Fear, resentment, and frustration act as stones in the riverbed of your life, and bathing with intention is one way to remove them. How then can we transform bathing into a spiritual practice that removes financial blocks? It begins with thought and word. Before entering the bath, take a moment to still your mind. Let the day's concerns, anxieties, and distractions fall away. Recognize that in this moment, you are in communion with an element that reflects the divine mind, pure, flowing, and abundant. Speak quietly or even silently affirmations that align with prosperity. Say to yourself, every block to my financial abundance is dissolved. Every fear of lack is washed away. I am cleansed and made ready to receive divine supply. Speak these words not as a hope, but as a declaration of truth, knowing that spirit responds to words of faith and intent. As the water touches your skin, imagine that it is carrying away not only physical impurities, but also invisible patterns that have held you back. Feel the warmth and movement of the water as it soaks into your body, and visualize it as a gentle current flowing through every cell, every nerve, and every fiber of your being. See it carrying away old beliefs, limiting thoughts, and fears about money that may have been programmed since childhood. The water does not resist, it simply flows. So, too, must your energy allow the old to be released without struggle, and allow the new to enter. The power of intention is magnified when combined with repetition. When you bathe with conscious affirmations consistently, you are sending a message to your subconscious mind that abundance is not only possible but inevitable. You are aligning your vibration with the frequency of wealth. Every drop of water becomes a messenger, a conduit for divine truth. Over time, your energy shifts. You will notice a change in your thoughts, your confidence, and your openness to opportunities that previously seemed blocked or unattainable. Another important practice is gratitude. While in the bath, express gratitude for the water itself, for the life it gives, and for the abundance that is already present in your life. Gratitude opens the channel. It tells the universe that you recognize the flow of supply and that you are ready for more. Say, I am grateful for all the blessings I receive. I am grateful for money that flows to me with ease. I am grateful for the divine order that brings wealth to me now. Let these words resonate with feeling, because feeling is the bridge between thought and manifestation. Water can also be enhanced with symbols of prosperity. Some people use essential oils, crystals, or even visualizations to charge the water with intention. While these are not necessary, they can serve as reminders of abundance and focus the mind. Imagine the water glowing with golden light, representing wealth, flowing through your body and clearing every financial blockage. See every concern dissolving as the light circulates, leaving only readiness, faith, and alignment with divine supply. It is essential to remember that this practice does not rely on wishful thinking or magical formulas. It relies on alignment. The outer world responds to the inner condition. Fear and scarcity block the flow. Faith and alignment open it. By bathing with intention, you are correcting the inner condition that governs your financial life. You are creating a clean slate, a clear riverbed, where prosperity can flow freely and abundantly. Moreover, this practice cultivates a sense of personal responsibility without struggle. You are not forcing money to come, nor are you trying to manipulate circumstances. You are simply aligning yourself with the natural, effortless flow of abundance. Just as water does not fight to reach its destination, so too does spirit work to bring resources into your life when you are ready and aligned. The water becomes a mirror showing you that abundance is natural, inevitable, and ever present. Repetition is key to making this practice transformational. Each bath is an opportunity to reinforce truth, to remind yourself that your supply is unlimited, and to release old patterns that no longer serve you. Over time, you will notice that the act of bathing no longer feels mundane. It becomes a sacred ritual, a daily alignment with wealth consciousness. You will find that financial blocks begin to dissolve, opportunities appear, and the natural flow of money increases. This practice also reminds us that abundance is holistic. Just as the body requires water to thrive, the mind and spirit require cleansing to function at their highest level. Prosperity is not only about money, it is about mental clarity, spiritual alignment, and the removal of fear that creates limitations. When we remove these blocks, wealth flows naturally, effortlessly, and continuously. Friends, the greatest insight here is simple. What you do with water is a reflection of what you do with your mind and heart. When water flows over you with intention, it carries with it the energy of your declarations. Every block that has prevented financial freedom can be dissolved in this way. Every fear can be softened and released. Every limitation can be washed away. The water becomes a sacred ally, a partner in your pursuit of abundance, and a reminder that the universe supports those who align themselves with the natural laws of supply. So, the next time you bathe, do not see it as an act of routine hygiene. See it as an opportunity to cleanse your body, mind, and spirit. Speak the words of faith, visualize the flow of divine abundance, and feel the old blocks dissolve. Allow the water to teach you patience, persistence, and effortless flow. Know that each time you bathe in this way, you are stepping into alignment with unlimited wealth, releasing the past and welcoming the future. The river of prosperity is flowing now, and you are invited to step in. Align with it, trust it, and let it carry away every resistance. Bathing with intention is more than a practice. It is a declaration, a statement of faith, and a path to the natural, continuous, and divine flow of money into your life. Remember this truth: abundance is your birthright. Fear and limitation are merely illusions that can be washed away. Every time water touches your body, let it remind you of the infinite flow of divine supply. Every drop becomes a messenger, every ripple a signal of your alignment, and every act a step into the fullness of prosperity. Step into your bath as if you are stepping into a river of limitless wealth. Declare, visualize, and feel the flow. Let the water cleanse not only the body but also every block to your financial abundance. Align your thoughts, words, and feelings with this truth. Let it saturate your being. Over time, you will find that the flow of money is natural, effortless, and unstoppable. The river of life always finds its way, and when you align with it, nothing can stop the abundance that is already yours. You are ready. You are abundant. Let the water remind you every time that prosperity is flowing now. Take a moment to observe water. See how it moves freely, effortlessly, bending around obstacles, nourishing life wherever it flows. Water never argues with the shape of its channel, never resists the contours of the earth, yet it finds its way to its destined place. Rivers carve valleys, streams feed lakes, rain replenishes the soil, and oceans embrace the horizon. Water, in all its simplicity, carries a profound lesson for us. Abundance is meant to flow, not to be resisted. Money, like water, is a form of energy. It is meant to circulate, to move from one hand to another, enriching lives, creating opportunities, and supporting growth. When we understand the principle of circulation, we begin to see that our financial life is not about hoarding, grasping, or fearing scarcity. It is about alignment with the natural flow of abundance, the divine river of supply that never ceases. Just as water continually moves and renews itself, so too does divine prosperity move through the universe, seeking channels through which it can manifest. Yet many of us live as though our prosperity is fixed, as though it can be blocked or depleted. We cling to scarcity, worry about what we lack, and inadvertently create dams in the river of our lives. Fear, doubt, resentment, and worry act as stones, slowing the current, creating stagnation, and preventing the abundant flow from reaching us. These blocks are invisible but real. They are the thought forms we cultivate when we focus on limitations rather than possibilities. And just as a stream will eventually find a new path when blocked, divine supply will find a way to flow when we remove these inner obstacles. One of the most powerful tools we have for aligning with the flow of abundance is water itself. Water responds to our intentions, our words, and our thoughts. It is remarkably receptive to vibration. When we hold a glass of water and speak affirmations over it, that water becomes a carrier of our belief. Words such as, "I am abundant," "I am open to the divine flow of supply," "money comes to me effortlessly," can transform a simple glass of water into a tangible symbol of faith. Drinking that water allows us to internalize the vibration of prosperity. We are not merely consuming water, we are drinking the principle of circulation itself. But the use of water is not limited to drinking. Every act we perform with water can be elevated into a spiritual practice of abundance. Bathing, for instance, is a daily opportunity to release fear, wash away doubts, and cleanse our minds of limiting beliefs. As the water touches our skin, we can declare, "Every block to my prosperity is dissolved. Every fear that limits my supply is washed away. I am ready to receive the abundance that flows to me." In this act, we are not simply cleansing the body, we are removing the mental and emotional debris that prevents wealth from flowing freely. The water, guided by our intention, carries away the old patterns and leaves us renewed, refreshed, and aligned with the infinite circulation of divine supply. Meditation near water offers another profound opportunity to connect with the principle of flow. Sitting by a river, a fountain, or even listening to the sound of rainfall can remind us of the effortless movement of abundance. The water teaches us patience and persistence. It moves continually, undeterred by obstacles. It adapts to every twist and turn, flowing around stones, finding new channels, and ultimately reaching its destination. Similarly, divine supply is always in motion, always seeking ways to manifest in our lives. When we meditate on the flow of water, we align ourselves with this principle, becoming aware that wealth is not a fixed resource to be fought over, but a dynamic current that is always available to those prepared to receive it. Let us consider the simple yet transformative act of visualizing money as water. Imagine a stream of golden water flowing into your life, not forced, not hurried, but naturally and abundantly. See it moving through every area of your life, nourishing your goals, your family, your work, and your dreams. Feel it circulate freely, touching all aspects of your existence with ease and grace. When we visualize wealth in this way, we remove fear from the equation. We acknowledge that supply is infinite and that there is always enough for all. Just as the ocean never complains of overuse, so too is divine abundance limitless. There is no scarcity in the universe, only the illusion of resistance, which dissolves when we align with the current. Another essential aspect of aligning with the flow of abundance is gratitude. Water flows effortlessly, yet it sustains life in countless ways. Every sip of water, every rainstorm, every stream reminds us that the universe provides freely and generously. When we cultivate gratitude for all that we have, our opportunities, our skills, our resources, and even the challenges that teach us resilience, we create a welcoming channel for more prosperity. Gratitude clears the mind of fear and doubt, just as a river clears its bed of sediment, allowing the current to move more freely. Every expression of thanks is a declaration that we are ready to receive, a recognition that supply is continuous and abundant. We must also recognize that circulation requires openness and receptivity. Just as water cannot flow into a sealed vessel, wealth cannot enter a mind closed by skepticism, negativity, or fear. When we hold on to old grudges, when we cling to outdated ideas of limitation, when we resist change, we are closing the vessel of our consciousness. To allow the divine flow of supply to enter fully, we must open ourselves, release resistance, and become flexible, adaptable, and receptive. Water teaches us that flow is effortless when we yield to the natural path, and abundance flows effortlessly when we yield to the law of divine supply. Affirmation is another powerful tool to harness the flow of abundance. Daily declarations, spoken with faith and conviction, are like sending a message downstream. The universe hears, the current responds, and opportunities appear where none seemed possible before. Words such as, "I am a channel for prosperity," "Supply flows to me easily and constantly," "My financial life is harmonious and abundant," resonate with the vibrational nature of reality. When spoken over water, or even visualized with water imagery, these affirmations gain power, becoming carriers of our belief into the unseen realm, setting the stage for tangible manifestations. It is also essential to remember that flow requires movement. Stagnation, in water as in life, breeds discomfort. Money must circulate, ideas must be expressed, generosity must be practiced, and opportunities must be seized. By giving freely, by investing in others, and by acting with courage, we keep the current moving. The universe responds to movement. Just as a river that stops flowing begins to stagnate, so too does wealth retreat when we become static or fearful. Action, guided by faith and aligned with divine principles, ensures that abundance continues to move, multiply, and manifest in our lives. We may encounter obstacles along the way, and indeed, challenges are inevitable. Water encounters rocks, fallen trees, and steep cliffs, yet it always finds a way. Similarly, financial blocks may appear as unexpected expenses, setbacks, or doubts. Yet these are not signs of limitation. They are opportunities to trust the current and to refine our alignment with the flow. By seeing challenges as temporary obstructions rather than permanent barriers, we maintain faith in the continuity of supply. Water teaches us resilience. It does not stop or become bitter when encountering resistance. It simply adjusts, flows, and continues toward its ultimate destination. Visualization, meditation, affirmation, gratitude, and intentional use of water combine to create a powerful practice of abundance. Each act reinforces the principle that supply is limitless, that wealth moves continuously, and that we are participants in a divine circulation that is far greater than any individual limitation. Every sip, every bath, every observation of flowing water becomes a reminder of the ongoing movement of prosperity, a lesson in trust, and a symbol of our readiness to receive. Let us also consider the importance of purity, not just in the water we use, but in our thoughts, intentions, and actions. Water, when clean, nourishes. When polluted, it can harm. Likewise, our thoughts and beliefs must remain pure and aligned with truth. When we release fear, envy, resentment, and attachment to scarcity, we purify the channel through which abundance flows. When our intentions are sincere, when our words align with truth, and when our actions support the well-being of others, we create a river ready for prosperity to move freely. Purity of thought and deed clears the path for divine supply to manifest in ways beyond our imagining. It is vital to remember that abundance is not merely about accumulation, it is about circulation. Like water that nourishes the earth and returns to the sea, wealth is most potent when shared, invested, and allowed to move. By supporting others, by giving generously, and by trusting the flow, we participate in the divine cycle of supply. The more freely we allow wealth to move, the more it returns to us, often in multiplied ways, for the law of circulation governs both material and spiritual prosperity. Ultimately, the message of water is simple but profound. Abundance is meant to flow, resistance creates blockage, and alignment with the current produces ease and prosperity. By observing water, by using it intentionally in our daily lives, by speaking over it, meditating near it, bathing with it, and visualizing wealth as a flowing stream, we align with the natural law of circulation. Every act becomes a symbol, every intention becomes a carrier of faith, and every thought contributes to the river of divine supply that never ceases. Let us therefore embrace water as a teacher, a partner, and a reminder of the endless circulation of divine abundance. Let us release fear and resistance, purify our intentions, and open ourselves fully to the flow. Let every sip, every bath, every meditation by a stream remind us that wealth, like water, is infinite, adaptable, and unstoppable. Trust the flow, participate in the circulation, and know that divine supply is always moving toward you. The river is flowing now, you are part of that current. Step into it with faith, with gratitude, and with joy. The abundance that the universe holds for you is limitless. It is flowing, it is moving. It is reaching you even as you sit here and listen. Open your heart, release all resistance, and allow the endless circulation of divine supply to nourish, bless, and multiply every aspect of your life. Beloved friends, today we explore a truth so simple, yet so profoundly transformative. Meditation on water connects the mind to abundance and renewal. Water is life itself. It is the very substance that nourishes our bodies, sustains our environment, and symbolizes the continuous flow of spirit. Just as the river flows effortlessly to the ocean, so too can the blessings of the universe flow into our lives when we align with the natural current of divine abundance. Water is not merely a physical necessity, it is a teacher, a mirror of our inner state, and a vessel of divine power. When we take a moment to sit quietly beside a river, a stream, a fountain, or even to watch the rain fall, we are doing more than observing nature. We are participating in a sacred meditation. The gentle movement of water mirrors the movement of prosperity, teaching us that life is never meant to be stagnant. The still mind, focused on the flow of water, begins to resonate with the rhythm of abundance. Each ripple, each drop is a messenger, reminding us that prosperity is not forced, it is allowed. It is not willed, it is received. Meditation on water opens the heart and mind to this truth, and in doing so, dissolves the blocks that have kept us from experiencing the fullness of our financial and spiritual potential. Consider the mind before meditation. It is often cluttered, filled with worries, fears, and endless calculations of scarcity. We ask, where will my next provision come from? Or, how will I overcome this challenge? In this state, the flow of abundance is obstructed. The mental riverbed is clogged with negative thoughts, doubts, and resistance. But as we bring our attention to water, its sound, its motion, its purity, the mind begins to release its tension. We synchronize with its flow. Slowly, the thoughts that once crowded our consciousness dissolve like salt in the stream. Fear is replaced with trust. Anxiety is replaced with calm expectation. The mind, once dry and blocked, becomes a channel ready to receive the blessings that the universe has prepared for us. Meditation on water also reconnects us to the natural law of circulation. Everything in life flows in cycles. The seasons change, tides rise and fall, rivers carve valleys over centuries, and rain nourishes the soil to produce abundance. Money, like water, is a part of this natural rhythm. It is meant to move. When we hold it in fear, when we cling to it in scarcity, we create stagnation. But when we meditate on water, we are reminded that circulation is essential. Just as a river cannot thrive if it is blocked, our prosperity cannot thrive if it is held captive by fear, indecision, or negative thinking. Meditation allows the mind to embody this truth. We see that abundance is not limited, that our capacity to receive is vast, and that the flow of blessings is a natural and divine right. As we sit in meditation, we may take water into our hands. A simple glass of water can become a tool of transformation. Hold it gently and let your mind focus entirely on it. Observe its clarity, its coolness, its life-giving presence. Speak silently or aloud the words that carry your intention. I am aligned with the flow of prosperity. I am open to divine abundance. My mind is clear. My heart is receptive. My financial blocks are dissolved. Notice how the water seems to respond. It is not magic in the superstitious sense, but is a reflection of a deeper truth. Everything vibrates. Everything responds to energy. Your thoughts, your intentions, and your affirmations imprint upon the water, and through it, upon your own consciousness. When you drink that water, you are internalizing the vibration of abundance. You are allowing the truth of your limitless potential to enter your body, mind, and soul. But meditation on water is not limited to drinking. Bathing, washing hands, or simply standing under a gentle stream can be equally transformative. Imagine turning your daily bath into a ritual of renewal. As water touches your skin, allow yourself to visualize the release of all resistance. Every worry, every fear, every block to financial and spiritual flow is being washed away. Feel the tension dissolve, feel the mind expand, feel the heart open. Your consciousness shifts from scarcity to abundance. You are not merely cleaning the body. You are cleansing the channels through which divine supply flows. You are preparing yourself to receive with grace and confidence. The act of meditation by water also heightens our awareness of the present moment. Water, in its simplicity, teaches mindfulness. Each drop is an invitation to focus, to observe, and to participate fully in the life around us. When we meditate beside water, we are practicing the art of being present. We are learning to let go of past mistakes, regrets, and financial anxieties. We are letting go of fears about the future. In this state of presence, we align with the flow of divine abundance. The mind, freed from distraction, becomes a fertile ground for creativity, insight, and inspired action. Ideas for new ventures, opportunities for income, and solutions to challenges emerge naturally. Just as a calm lake reflects the sky with perfect clarity, a mind meditating on water reflects divine wisdom without distortion. Meditation on water also nurtures gratitude. As we observe the flowing river or the steady fall of rain, we are reminded of the abundance that surrounds us. Even if we feel financially constrained, there is always evidence of provision. Water itself is a sign of life, of sustenance, of the countless blessings that continue to pour into our world. Gratitude shifts the energy within us. It opens the doors of perception and makes space for more. The more grateful we are for what is already present, the more receptive we become to what is coming. Water teaches us that abundance is not about accumulation, it is about flow, appreciation, and alignment with the greater current of life. Another powerful aspect of meditation on water is its ability to dissolve mental rigidity. Many of us cling to outdated beliefs about money, that it is scarce, that it is hard to earn, that we must struggle endlessly to acquire it. These beliefs create invisible blocks that prevent the natural circulation of prosperity. Yet water shows us a different way. Water is adaptable, it moves around obstacles, it changes shape but continues its journey. When we meditate on water, we are learning to let go of rigid thinking. We are learning flexibility, patience, and trust. We allow the flow of abundance to find its way into our lives, even if it does not come in the form or timing we expect. Water teaches us that divine supply is creative and boundless. Meditation on water also strengthens faith. Faith is the inner conviction that supply exists, that opportunity is present, and that we are worthy to receive. By focusing on water, we are reminded of this eternal truth. Just as the river never ceases to flow, the universe never ceases to provide. Our responsibility is to align with that flow, to remove mental and emotional blocks, and to remain receptive. The simple act of observing water, speaking affirmations over it, and internalizing its life-giving presence is an act of faith. We declare, without doubt, that abundance is our natural state. We declare that we are worthy channels for prosperity. Let us also consider the transformative power of visualization during water meditation. As we watch a stream, a fountain, or rainfall, we can imagine our financial streams flowing in harmony with the water before us. Picture money, opportunity, and success circulating freely, washing away all limitation. Imagine debts dissolving, opportunities multiplying, and resources arriving unexpectedly. Allow yourself to feel the joy, relief, and gratitude that come with this vision. The mind does not distinguish between a vivid imagined reality and actual experience when felt with deep emotion. Through this practice, meditation on water becomes a bridge, connecting the inner mind to the external manifestation of abundance. It is important to remember that meditation on water is not about forcing results. It is about alignment, surrender, and openness. Water flows naturally. It does not struggle. It does not demand. It simply moves in harmony with the laws of nature. In the same way, our prosperity flows naturally when we align our thoughts, words, and emotions with the truth of divine abundance. Meditation on water reminds us to release control, to trust the process, and to open our hearts fully to receive. The practice can be simple. Even a few minutes a day is powerful. Sit quietly by a source of water or even a bowl of water at home. Close your eyes, take deep conscious breaths, and let your mind attune to the flow. Speak affirmations quietly or silently. Visualize abundance flowing like the stream before you. Feel the blocks dissolve. Feel your mind expand. Feel the joy of being a channel through which prosperity can move freely. With consistency, this practice rewires the subconscious mind, clears mental resistance, and strengthens your connection to the universal supply. Finally, meditation on water is a reminder that abundance is a state of consciousness. It is not measured solely by currency or possessions. True wealth includes peace of mind, clarity, creativity, opportunity, and the ability to give freely. When we meditate on water, we are not just attracting financial blessings, we are aligning with the deeper currents of life itself. We are opening to renewal, clarity, and infinite possibility. As we close this meditation, let us make a declaration of faith and intention. I am a channel for divine abundance. My mind is clear. My heart is open. My blocks are dissolved. Prosperity flows to me easily, naturally, and continuously. I trust the process, and I am grateful for the blessings that surround me now and always. Drink in that truth. Breathe it. Let it flow like water through every cell of your being. Know that, as water flows unceasingly, so too does divine abundance flow to you now and forever. The river of life is waiting. Step into it. Allow yourself to be carried, renewed, and blessed. Meditation on water is not just a practice. It is a gateway to the abundant life you are meant to live. The mind that is connected to water is a mind that is aligned with prosperity, clarity, and renewal. Allow this truth to sink deeply into your consciousness, and watch as your financial and spiritual life transforms in ways beyond your imagination. There is a principle in life that is as simple as it is profound. We are all channels through which the divine flows. Just as a riverbed channels water, shaping its direction yet never holding it back, you are a channel for wealth, abundance, and prosperity. You are not the source, you are the instrument. You are not the reservoir, you are the pathway. And when you understand this, your relationship with money transforms entirely. Money, like water, is meant to move. It is not meant to be hoarded in fear or clutched tightly with anxiety. It is meant to circulate, to flow freely, blessing everyone it touches. When you attempt to control it with fear or hesitation, you create dams, obstacles that interrupt its natural course. These dams are the limiting beliefs, the doubts, the old stories of lack that have been passed down or imprinted upon you. They are the stones in the riverbed, the boulders that prevent the smooth, effortless flow of divine supply. But the river does not resist. It does not argue with the stones. It does not try to force its way. It adapts. It finds the path of least resistance. And so it is with abundance. When you remove your internal obstacles, when you align your thoughts, words, and actions with the truth of unlimited supply, money flows to you with the same ease and inevitability as water seeking the sea. To become a channel for wealth, you must first recognize that wealth is not something to chase. It is not a distant prize to be earned through struggle alone. Wealth is a current that exists everywhere, a current of divine life force that moves through all creation. You do not need to manufacture it, you only need to open yourself to it. You need to remove the blocks that prevent it from flowing through you. One of the most beautiful ways to understand this is by observing water itself. Water is humble yet powerful. It nourishes without discrimination. It flows without hesitation. It adapts without complaint. Sometimes it rushes with force, carving canyons over centuries. Sometimes it trickles gently, providing life to delicate seedlings. And yet, in all its forms, it never stops. It never doubts its ability to reach its destination. Money works in the same way. It is a form of energy, a tool, a vehicle through which divine provision moves. When you treat it as sacred energy, when you see yourself as a vessel rather than the source, you stop blocking its flow with fear, doubt, or attachment. You begin to allow it to enter your life naturally, to move through your hands, to bless others, and to return to you in ever greater measure. Your words are the key to opening this channel. Words carry vibration. When you speak affirmations over yourself, over your circumstances, over the water you drink or the water in your bath, you are shaping the energy that flows through you. Take a glass of pure water, hold it in your hands and speak clearly and with feeling. I am a channel for divine abundance. I am open, ready and aligned with unlimited supply. Money flows to me effortlessly and blesses all who come into contact with it. Drink this water, and with it, drink the truth of your own worthiness and the certainty of your supply. You may also use bathing as a sacred ritual. As the water touches your skin, imagine it dissolving every block to your prosperity. Say aloud, all fear, all worry, all doubt about money are washed away. I am cleansed, renewed, and aligned with the flow of abundance. I am a channel through which wealth moves freely. Feel the water carrying away old patterns, leaving only openness, receptivity, and readiness. This is not magic, it is alignment with the laws of spirit, the natural order of the universe. Flowing water teaches patience. A river does not rush unnecessarily. It flows steadily, persistently, and inevitably toward its destination. You too must cultivate patience in the process of allowing wealth to move through you. There will be moments when the current seems slow, when the flow is interrupted by obstacles you cannot yet see how to remove. These are not failures, they are invitations to adjust, to align, to deepen your faith, and to trust in the invisible currents of provision that are always moving. Meditation near flowing water is a powerful practice. Sit by a river, a stream, or even a fountain. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Listen to the water as it moves past rocks and bends. Let it remind you that abundance is always moving, always seeking channels to pass through. Say quietly to yourself, as this water flows, so does my prosperity. Nothing can stop the stream of divine supply. I am the riverbed through which wealth moves freely. Feel the truth of it in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. Let it sink into every cell. You may wonder, how does this channel open more fully? It opens through clarity of intention, purity of thought, and generosity of spirit. A river cannot flow through a clogged channel. Likewise, wealth cannot move through a mind that is cluttered with fear, resentment, or unforgiveness. Release the grudges, release the limiting beliefs, release the need to control. Open yourself fully, and the current will find its way. Generosity accelerates the flow. When you allow wealth to pass through your hands in service to others, you demonstrate that you are a worthy vessel. When you give freely, without attachment or expectation, you confirm to spirit that the channel is clear and more abundance will follow. Money is not a possession, it is a form of energy that seeks to move, to be expressed, to create good, be a conduit, and it will find you endlessly. Another key aspect is visualization. Imagine yourself as a riverbed, the perfect shape for the water of wealth to flow through. See your life as a channel free of blockages, carrying money smoothly, blessing all who come into contact with it. Visualize opportunities, ideas, and solutions moving effortlessly toward you. Visualize the joy and freedom that comes from being a fully open channel. Feel the gratitude that flows naturally when you live in this truth. Faith is the final and most important element. Trust in the invisible laws of divine provision. Just as a river does not doubt that it will reach the ocean, trust that wealth is always moving toward you. Doubt creates stagnation, faith creates flow. Repeat daily, I am a channel for wealth. I am aligned with unlimited supply. Nothing can block the flow of abundance in my life. Let this declaration become a mantra, a constant reminder of your divine role as a conduit. Remember, being a channel does not mean being passive. You must act in alignment with opportunity, make wise decisions, and maintain integrity in all dealings. But act without desperation, without fear, without attachment. Your role is to facilitate, to allow, to guide the flow, not to struggle against it. The more relaxed, joyful, and trusting you are, the easier the current moves through you. As you practice these principles, you will notice changes. Opportunities will appear, sometimes from unexpected directions. Financial solutions will emerge effortlessly. You will feel lighter, freer, and more abundant in every sense. You will find that the more freely you allow wealth to flow through you, the more it multiplies. Like water, abundance seeks the path of least resistance. When the riverbed is clear, it moves powerfully, continuously, and without end. So, beloved friends, step into the truth of who you are. You are not struggling to gather wealth. You are not grasping for money in fear or scarcity. You are a channel for divine abundance. Your mind is the riverbed. Your words shape the flow. Your actions guide it. Every thought of limitation is a rock to be removed. Every act of generosity is a widening of the channel. Every declaration of faith strengthens the flow. Drink water with intention, bathe in awareness, meditate beside flowing streams, speak words of abundance, act with integrity, give generously, and above all, trust in the divine current that moves through all life. Let fear dissolve, let worry vanish, let doubt fall away. Open fully, and you will see the miracle of money moving through you, blessing your life and the lives of all who touch your flow. The river is moving. The wealth is moving. You are the channel. Step into alignment and let the current carry you to the abundance that is your divine inheritance. The flow is natural, unstoppable, and infinite. Be the river that guides it with grace, courage, and joy. Allow yourself to receive, to pass it on, and to know in every moment that you are a perfect channel for wealth. Divine wealth flows naturally when resistance is dissolved. This is a principle so simple and yet so profound that it is often overlooked. Many of us struggle with money, not because abundance is limited, but because invisible blocks prevent its easy flow into our lives. These blocks take the form of fear, doubt, worry, and subconscious beliefs that tell us scarcity is inevitable. We are conditioned to believe that money is hard to come by, that the world is limited, and that we must struggle to survive. But the truth is entirely different. The universe or spirit is infinitely abundant. Wealth is not something we need to chase. It is a natural current that seeks channels to move through. The only thing standing between us and the effortless flow of prosperity is resistance, and resistance is always internal. To dissolve resistance, we must first recognize it. Often, we do not see the invisible walls we have built around our financial life. They are built of old stories, repeated fears, and unconscious habits. Every time we doubt that money will come, we reinforce the dam. Every time we complain about bills, expenses, or lack, we add another brick. Resistance is subtle. It hides behind our thoughts, our words, and our attitudes. The key is awareness. Observe your beliefs about money. Are they rooted in fear or in faith? Are they based on lack or on divine provision? The moment we see the resistance, we gain the power to release it. The next step is forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is essential for financial freedom. Often resistance is tied to past hurts, unfair treatment, or resentment toward others or even toward ourselves. Perhaps we feel cheated, overlooked, or undeserving. These feelings create invisible barriers. Spirit is pure flow. It cannot enter a vessel weighed down by bitterness. To dissolve resistance, forgive, release resentment. Let go of blame, speak words of peace and freedom. I forgive, I release, I am free. These words, though simple, carry tremendous power. They clear the channel so that wealth can flow freely without obstruction. Affirmations are another powerful tool. The words we speak shape our reality. Our thoughts and words carry vibrations that either attract abundance or repel it. When resistance is dissolved, affirmations become like water over a smooth riverbed. They glide effortlessly, unhindered. Speak with confidence and conviction. Money flows to me easily. I am open to receive abundance in all forms. I am worthy and my prosperity is guaranteed. Say these words daily with feeling and watch how the current begins to shift. Speak them over water, drink it in, or simply declare them aloud. Spirit responds to faith, not force. When resistance is gone, the universe mirrors back your certainty. Visualization also strengthens the removal of resistance. See yourself living in abundance, not struggling. Picture your bills paid, your savings growing, your opportunities multiplying. Imagine yourself free from worry, standing in the flow of financial ease. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is a declaration of truth to the subconscious mind, which governs your actions, habits, and receptivity. The more vividly you imagine abundance, the more real it becomes, because your subconscious begins to act in harmony with this vision. Resistance cannot coexist with this mental image of ease and prosperity. It is displaced, washed away, and replaced with faith. Action is equally important. Divine wealth does not require struggle, but it does require alignment. This means acting in ways that are harmonious with abundance. Keep your accounts organized, make clear plans, honor agreements, and seek opportunities that align with your highest purpose. Action, when combined with belief and faith, creates a momentum that carries wealth naturally. Resistance is removed not by force, but by alignment. When you move in harmony with the current of spirit, the river of abundance carries you effortlessly. The key is not to push against life, but to flow with it. Generosity is another vital principle. Resistance is often strengthened by fear of loss. We clutch money tightly, afraid to give, afraid that if we share, there will be nothing left. But money is like water, it expands when it circulates. The more freely you give, the more you receive. Acts of generosity remove fear and open the channel for divine provision. Give with joy, give without expectation, and watch how the universe replenishes what you have shared, often in ways far greater than you imagined. Resistance is softened by love, gratitude, and trust in the divine source. Gratitude itself is a profound dissolver of resistance. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our energy from scarcity to abundance. Resistance thrives in the soil of lack. It withers in the light of appreciation. Every day, take time to acknowledge the blessings already present in your life. I am grateful for my income, my opportunities, my talents, my health, and my loved ones. I am grateful for the flow of money that is already on its way to me. Gratitude is a powerful magnet for wealth. It signals to spirit that you are ready and willing to receive, and it dissolves resistance effortlessly. Water itself can be a tool in this process. Water is life, movement, and cleansing. When used intentionally, it can help you align with abundance. Keep a glass of water nearby, speak affirmations over it, and drink it. Use baths to cleanse both the body and the mind, washing away fear, doubt, and resistance. Observe streams, rivers, or fountains, and meditate on the flow. Let them remind you that money, like water, is infinite and seeks channels to move through. Every drop you see is a symbol of divine supply. Align with this rhythm, and resistance will dissolve naturally. Faith is the foundation upon which all these practices rest. Faith is not belief in scarcity, struggle, or limitation. Faith is certainty in the presence of divine supply. When faith is strong, resistance has no foothold. Even when circumstances appear challenging, maintain faith. Know that the universe is abundant, and your portion is secure. This faith is the quiet power behind all affirmations, visualizations, actions, generosity, and gratitude. Resistance cannot survive in the light of unwavering faith. Sometimes, resistance persists because of fear of success. Some of us unconsciously believe that we do not deserve wealth, that abundance will change us, or that it will bring responsibility we cannot handle. These fears create subtle blocks. The solution is to confront and release them. Declare, I am worthy of all the wealth and abundance that Spirit provides. I embrace prosperity with joy and gratitude. I am capable of handling my blessings wisely and responsibly. Speak these words with feeling, and the subconscious will adjust, removing hidden fears that have held back the flow of wealth. Patience is another key. Divine wealth is never late, it comes at the right time in the right way, and in the right measure. Resistance often arises from impatience, worry, and attempts to force results. Let go of timing, trust the process. Continue to align your thoughts, words, and actions with abundance, and wealth will flow naturally. Resistance dissolves when you surrender control, knowing that the universe orchestrates every detail perfectly. Flow does not rush, it moves steadily, surely, and inevitably toward fulfillment. Consistency matters. One affirmation or one act of faith may not dissolve long-standing blocks immediately. But daily practice, repeated with feeling and intention, reshapes the subconscious mind and clears resistance permanently. Make it a habit to speak affirmations, visualize abundance, express gratitude, act in alignment, and use water as a spiritual tool. Over time, resistance fades, and the natural flow of divine wealth becomes evident in every area of life. It is not magic, it is alignment with eternal law. Finally, remember that wealth is not only financial. Divine wealth encompasses health, peace, love, opportunities, and joy. When resistance is dissolved, all forms of abundance flow freely. Money, relationships, ideas, and success move into your life naturally, effortlessly, and abundantly. Resistance is merely the mind's illusion. Faith, gratitude, alignment, and action transform that illusion into reality. The river of abundance has no limits, it seeks you, and when you open the channel, you will experience a life of richness beyond measure. Divine wealth flows naturally when resistance is dissolved. This is not just a concept, it is a living principle. Apply it daily. Speak words of faith. Visualize abundance. Act in harmony. Express generosity and gratitude. Align yourself with the flow of spirit. Let water remind you of movement, cleansing, and life. Trust that the current will carry you where you need to go. Resistance is an illusion that disappears in the light of understanding. Wealth is your birthright. Open your heart, clear your mind, release your fears, and let the river of abundance carry you effortlessly. You are ready. You are worthy. You are aligned. Divine wealth flows naturally when resistance is dissolved, and as you walk in this truth, you will witness miracles of provision, opportunities, and blessings that surpass your imagination. Flow with spirit, flow with faith, flow with joy, and the abundance you have always desired will manifest. Water is one of the most powerful symbols in the universe. It is soft, yet it can carve through mountains. It is gentle, yet it nourishes every living thing on the planet. Water flows, it adapts, and it never resists the path laid before it. Just as water moves effortlessly around rocks, bends, and obstacles, so too does prosperity naturally find its way to those who align with the flow of divine abundance. The lesson is clear: to attract wealth and remove financial blocks, we must learn from water, its patience, its flexibility, and its unwavering movement. Many people struggle with money because they attempt to force it, to control it, or to hold it tightly in fear. They forget that money, like water, is meant to circulate. It cannot flow where there is resistance. Just as a river cannot rise above its banks without overflowing, prosperity cannot enter a life filled with fear, doubt, or rigid expectations. The first step to attracting wealth is understanding that resistance blocks flow. Financial blocks are often mental, emotional, and spiritual. They are created by thoughts of lack, feelings of unworthiness, and habits that confine abundance instead of allowing it to move freely. Water demonstrates the wisdom of adaptability. It meets obstacles, and instead of stopping, it finds a new route. It does not resist the stone, the branch, or the bend in the river. It moves gracefully around it, adjusting to the circumstances while continuing toward its destination. Prosperity works in the same way. It is always seeking channels through which to flow. When we align ourselves with faith, flexibility, and openness, wealth finds its way around obstacles in our lives. When we fight, resist, or cling too tightly, we create barriers that slow the flow of abundance. One of the simplest ways to learn from water is to observe it in its natural state. Watch a stream running over rocks in a forest. Notice how it twists, turns, and adjusts to every stone in its path. It does not demand that the stone move, it simply shifts, bends, and continues. You can apply this principle to finances. Instead of resisting circumstances that seem challenging, shift your mindset. Instead of dwelling on debt, scarcity, or missed opportunities, find ways to adjust your approach. The water does not stop because of a rock, and neither should your prosperity. Another profound way to harness the power of water is through intention. Water is highly responsive to thought, words, and energy. When we speak affirmations over water, it absorbs those vibrations. When we bathe with intention, it carries away negativity and resistance. When we drink water with gratitude and faith, it nourishes not only the body but the soul. You can say to a glass of water, every obstacle in my financial life is dissolved. Prosperity flows freely to me. I am aligned with abundance. Drink it slowly, fully believing that you are inviting the divine flow of wealth into your life. Just as water moves around rocks, your financial blessings will find their way around challenges. Flexibility is key. Many people fail to attract wealth because they expect it to come in a specific form, time, or way. Water never complains about the path it must take. It may trickle slowly, rush in torrents, or pool quietly in a lake, but it always reaches its destination. Likewise, prosperity may arrive through opportunities we do not anticipate: a business idea, an unexpected gift, a new client, or a creative solution. By holding a rigid expectation of how money should appear, we block its natural flow. By being adaptable and open, we allow it to move in ways we could never imagine. The principle of circulation is essential. Water that stands still becomes stagnant and lifeless. Money that is hoarded, feared, or clung to in anxiety also stagnates. Abundance flows when it is given, shared, and invested. Like a river that spreads nourishment across a valley, financial blessings grow when they are used to serve, uplift, and expand. When we focus only on holding, fear takes root. But when we release, trust, and move with life, abundance flows like a mighty stream, enriching not only ourselves but all those around us. Faith amplifies the flow. Water does not question the path it takes. It trusts that its movement is perfect. When we cultivate faith in the divine orchestration of our lives, prosperity flows around obstacles naturally. Doubt is like a dam. Faith is the current that carries wealth effortlessly. Speak to yourself with certainty. I am a channel of prosperity. My supply is unlimited. Every financial obstacle is dissolved. As water demonstrates, when we move with trust, flexibility, and faith, abundance arrives no matter what challenges appear. Consider also the power of ritual. Simple daily actions with water can reprogram your subconscious and align you with prosperity. Drink a glass of water each morning while silently declaring your abundance. Wash your hands while envisioning all financial blocks dissolving. Bathe while imagining that your energy is being purified, leaving room for blessings to flow. Even listening to the sound of running water can reinforce the truth that wealth is always moving and finding its way. Every act with water can become a spiritual exercise in releasing resistance and inviting abundance. Adaptability also requires letting go of past limitations. Just as a river does not linger on the stones it encounters, you must release old financial habits, fears, and limiting beliefs. Forgive yourself for mistakes, release grudges or resentment toward money, and allow the past to dissolve. Water never clings, and prosperity cannot flow where clinging remains. Replace the old patterns with faith, gratitude, and clear intention. Visualize money flowing easily to you. Like water finding the path of least resistance, it is important to remember that obstacles are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for your prosperity to show its creativity and adaptability. Water gains strength by flowing around rocks and over falls. Likewise, your wealth grows as it moves through challenges. Rather than shrinking back, learn to see financial obstacles as teaching moments, proof that abundance is not limited by circumstance, but guided by your faith and flexibility. Every challenge met with calm adaptability strengthens the channel for even greater prosperity. The principle extends to action as well. Water moves, it does not sit stagnant. Prosperity requires movement. Whether it is learning, networking, investing, or sharing your gifts, taking aligned action creates the currents through which wealth can flow. Think of each action as a small stream feeding into a larger river of abundance. No effort is wasted. Even the smallest, consistent steps create pathways for financial blessings to navigate around barriers, just as water finds every crack, every channel, every bend on its journey. Finally, gratitude is the ultimate amplifier. Water nurtures life without expecting anything in return. When we express gratitude for every blessing, every financial opportunity, every gift, we align ourselves with the natural flow of abundance. Gratitude is like a mirror that reflects the current of wealth back into our lives. It allows prosperity to move around obstacles with ease, because we are no longer resisting, fearing, or demanding. We are simply receiving with joy, and just like water, abundance flows effortlessly to where it is welcomed. In conclusion, water is a perfect teacher for prosperity. It shows us how to move with grace, to adjust without resistance, and to flow around obstacles. It reminds us that wealth is not something to be forced, hoarded, or feared, but something to be welcomed, circulated, and guided by faith. By embracing adaptability, releasing resistance, taking inspired action, and maintaining gratitude, financial blocks dissolve, and abundance becomes natural. Prosperity, like water, will always find its way to you, carrying blessings around every obstacle and into the life of anyone who aligns with the divine flow. The river is always moving. The wealth you seek is always circulating. Step into the flow with faith, flexibility, and gratitude, and watch as your financial life transforms effortlessly. Just as water moves with ease around every stone, branch, and bend, water is life. It sustains us, nourishes our bodies, and reflects the world around us. But water is more than a physical necessity. It is a spiritual teacher, a symbol of flow, abundance, and the natural movement of life. Just as water moves without resistance, so too does divine abundance seek a channel. Every act with water can be transformed into a ritual of prosperity, a declaration that we are ready to receive the wealth, opportunities, and blessings that are our divine right. When we understand the spiritual qualities of water and use it intentionally, it becomes a powerful tool to attract money and remove the blocks that have kept abundance away. Many people approach life as though wealth is a scarce resource, as though money is something to be grasped, hoarded, or fought for. Yet money, like water, is meant to circulate. It flows naturally, moving toward those who are ready to receive it and away from those who resist its current. Fear, doubt, and worry act like dams in a riverbed. They create stagnation, slow the current, and block the natural flow of supply. Just as a river overcomes obstacles by finding a path around them, abundance will always find its way into your life when you remove the stones of resistance. The first step is awareness. Recognize the beliefs, patterns, and habits that are creating financial blocks. The second step is action. Choose to use water as a medium to transform these blocks into a channel for prosperity. Words carry vibration. When you speak truth over water, it absorbs the energy of your intention. This is not merely a symbolic act, it is a spiritual practice grounded in the principle that thought and word are creative forces. Take a glass of clean water, hold it gently in your hands, and speak affirmations of abundance. Say, I am divinely provided for. Money flows to me effortlessly. I am open and ready for prosperity. As you speak these words, imagine the water taking in the energy of your belief, holding it as a vessel for manifestation. When you drink this water, you are internalizing the truth of abundance. You are telling your mind, body, and spirit that you are ready to receive, and the universe responds in kind. Bathing is another opportunity to transform water into a ritual of wealth. As you immerse yourself, let go of old fears and limitations. Say aloud, every block to my prosperity is dissolved. Every pattern of lack is washed away. I am cleansed and renewed, ready to receive divine abundance. Visualize the water carrying away every worry, every thought of scarcity, leaving your mind and body open to the flow of money, opportunities, and blessings. Bathing is more than physical cleansing, it is spiritual purification, a reminder that every limitation is temporary, and every person has the capacity to align with divine flow. The sound of water is also a profound teacher. Flowing water, whether a river, fountain, or even the gentle bubbling of a stream, reminds us that abundance is always moving, never stagnant. Sit beside water and meditate, repeating to yourself, as this water flows, so does my prosperity. Nothing can stop the stream of divine supply. Let the sound remind you that wealth, like water, is infinite and constantly seeking channels through which to move. You are that channel. Your mind, your heart, and your actions form the riverbed directing the current of abundance. Intentionality is essential in every act involving water. Pouring water into a plant, washing your hands, filling a glass, each act can carry spiritual significance when accompanied by conscious affirmation. Speak truth as you move water. Say, I release all blocks. I am open to receive. Abundance flows to me now. The universe responds to the clarity of your intention. When your actions are aligned with your words and your thoughts, every movement becomes a ritual, and every ritual opens the door for financial blessings. It is important to remember that abundance is not only about money. Wealth encompasses joy, health, opportunities, relationships, and spiritual fulfillment. Water teaches us this principle through its adaptability. It takes the shape of any vessel, flows around any obstacle, and fills every space it touches. In the same way, divine wealth adjusts to meet your needs, filling the channels you create. Your faith, your gratitude, and your readiness are the containers into which prosperity flows. Removing financial blocks often requires inner work. Fear, resentment, and negative beliefs about money act like stones in the river. Water can be used to symbolically dissolve these blocks. Take a bowl of water, hold it, and say, all fear, all resistance, all limitations are dissolved in this water. Visualize the negativity leaving your life, carried away by the flow. Drink the water, pour it on the earth, or let it run down the drain, knowing that you are releasing what no longer serves you. Each act becomes a declaration that you are prepared to receive divine supply. Gratitude amplifies the power of water rituals. Every time you use water, take a moment to thank the universe for the flow of abundance already present in your life. Gratitude transforms ordinary acts into spiritual practice. A glass of water, a shower, a swim, a river visit, each moment becomes sacred when infused with appreciation for what already is. This appreciation signals to the universe that you recognize the abundance that surrounds you and are ready for more. Visualization enhances the effect of water rituals. As you hold or immerse yourself in water, imagine your financial situation improving. See money flowing to you in creative ways. Imagine opportunities appearing effortlessly. Feel the joy, relief, and freedom that come with financial security. By combining visualization with water and spoken affirmations, you are aligning mind, body, and spirit with the truth of abundance. You are creating a channel for divine supply to move into your life without resistance. Consistency is key. Using water to remove financial blocks and attract money is most effective when practiced regularly. Make it a daily ritual, even if only for a few minutes. Morning and evening are ideal times, as they mark the beginning and end of a cycle. Morning rituals set the tone for the day, while evening rituals release the residue of fear and worry. Over time, these practices build a habit of abundance consciousness, rewiring the mind to expect prosperity as naturally as breathing. Remember that water is a teacher of trust. It flows, it adapts, and it reaches its destination. In the same way, your financial prosperity will flow when you trust the process. Doubt, impatience, and frustration act as resistance, slowing the current. Replace these with faith and patience, knowing that the universe moves perfectly and that every act you take with water carries your intention into reality. Every home and space can benefit from the presence of water. Fountains, aquariums, and even bowls of water strategically placed in your living or working space serve as reminders of the flow of abundance. Treat these water sources as sacred. Speak affirmations over them, charge them with gratitude, and allow them to symbolize the ever-moving, ever-available flow of wealth into your life. Wealth is not a prize to be won, it is a flow to be accessed. Water reminds us that there is no scarcity in the universe, only channels waiting to be opened. By aligning with water, we align with spirit, with abundance, and with the natural order of prosperity. Every glass, every bath, every stream, every drop becomes a ritual, a conscious act of faith, and a declaration that we are ready to receive all good things. In conclusion, let water be your ally in the journey toward abundance. Speak over it, immerse yourself in it, meditate beside it, and visualize through it. Release all blocks into it. Drink it with intention. Wash in it with gratitude. Let it remind you that prosperity is flowing, infinite, and available. Water is the mirror of spirit and a channel of divine wealth. Every act with water can be transformed into a ritual of abundance, and in these rituals, you find the ease, flow, and certainty that money and blessings are moving toward you now. Step into the stream of abundance today. Drink, bathe, visualize, speak, and act with faith. Let the water carry away doubt, fear, and limitation, and let the flow of divine prosperity move freely into every area of your life. The river of wealth is waiting, and all you need to do is open your hands, your heart, and your life to receive it.